dependent upon my willingness to be one with the divine. But there are still people that need that.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But for me, for me in my house, this house, not Fiesta Lane, but this house,
Right.
we want to be with God.
All right.
And I hope that's where you want to be too, because that's what the fellowship is about, is putting you in the right place at the right time to really come into a knowledge of consciousness or God within yourself.
All right.
We've been talking on a series entitled The Path, well, first of all, from slave to master.
Yeah.
The path to enlightenment. And each week we take a step further on that path. It's a long path. Because enlightenment is not a joke. It's not a situation like what we've heard in the fundamentalist movements where it's a one-time conversion, you come down the aisle and somehow now everything's supposed to change.
Right.
We understand that the path to enlightenment is a process. And many of us want to microwave that process. Many of us want to make that an overnight thing where we stick it in the oven. We're so used to that in society. We stick it in there, put 3 minutes on it, and now all of a sudden my marriage is better. Now all of a sudden what my mother did, my father did, that's all over with. But that's a lie. I said it's a lie. It's a bald-faced lie. Because the truth is that this is a process of evolution of your own mind. Changing your own perception and bringing you to a place where all of this starts to make sense. So this week's topic is entitled, as part 4, it's entitled, Make It Plain.
Make it plain.
No more illusion, just make it plain. Give it to me straight. Tell me like it really is. I've had enough people playing games with my life, games with my time, games with my affection. I want it to be made plain. I'm actually going to take a scriptural text this week.
All right.
I'm actually going to read something to you because it has validity in what we're talking about.
All right.
In John 17, starting with verse 20 through 23, it is Yeshua, Greek name Jesus, who is speaking here, and he is coming toward the end of this incarnation. And so as he's coming toward the end, he's sending up a petition. And he's saying, this is what I want for my brothers and my sisters who have been with me through the thick and thin and everything I've gone through. And this is what he said. I pray for those who will believe through their message that all of them may be one. Just as you are in me and I am in you. May they also be one with us, so that the world may believe that you sent me. So the only way the world is really supposed to believe in this man, in this Mashiach, is that we observe the oneness of his followers. That's deep. Not a cross, not a big 10-ton Bible, not a big hat, not a pastoral anniversary. Talk to me. But oneness. Oh man.
That's different.
Then he says, I have given them glory. What glory?
Okay.
Ain't nobody taught no flags or nothing. Translation, please.
Translate.
I have given them a philosophy, a way of life, a dharma, universal law that you have given me, that they may be one as we are one, I in them and you in me, so they may be brought to complete unity. But unity with what? Let's make it plain.
Okay.
When Yeshua speaks of oneness, it's actually a revolutionary statement. Because the culture that he's coming from is a Hebraic culture. And later on, these same concepts are transmigrated into Islam as well. And we find it transmigrated into Western theology. There's a difference between Western theology and Eastern theology.
Yeah.
There's a difference in Western Christianity and Eastern Christianity.
That's right.
There's a difference between Protestantism, Catholicism, and the Gnostics.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a difference between the Western concept of Yeshua
Yes.
and the Essene concept of the Mashiach.
Yeah.
All right.
And we have to understand today, unless we be made fools of,
Yeah.
what is the difference between these two philosophies?
All right.
Because in Western theology, and in the Hebraic culture, and in this stuff that the Arabs come up with, God is separated from humanity. And I've got to go through some kind of conversion process to get back with God.
Yeah.
In other words, God put me out. I was bad. God don't love me no more. And see, it's a problem because in these religious institutions, they operate under the same gnosis or knowledge.
Yeah.
That when you are not what they think you ought to be, they tell you that you are separated from spirituality. If we put you out, don't matter who else wants you, you ain't nothing unless you want us.
Yeah.
But I came by to tell you
Come on.
that religion is something you convert to.
Yeah.
You come through the triple darkness of the womb.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
come into the earth and then you are transmigrated into a philosophy and a belief.
That's right.
And you accept or reject the philosophy that best suits your cultural norm.
That's right.
Because you would not have been a Christian if you had
Didn't
been
know.
born in church.
That's right.
You would not have been a talk back to me.
That's right.
If you had come up in the Zulu nation,
Yeah.
you would not have been talking about didn't he die, didn't he die. But you were born into a culture that gave you a philosophy,
Yeah.
and because of the peer pressure and the atmosphere and the programming and the conditioning of the place you were in, you came to believe.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
That's how it went.
All right.
Baby, you put a Hispanic baby in China, they're not going to speak Spanish.
There you go. That's right.
But all of the babies were saying ah and goo goo and ah when they came
That's
out of the
right.
womb.
Talk about it, Pastor.
What was the language you were speaking? It
Yeah.
was the language before you messed me up.
Yeah.
It was the language of the cosmos.
Yeah.
It was the universal sound, the primordial sound, because I had just come from source.
Yeah.
Don't touch me. I have not yet ascended to the Father. I have not yet touched the. Oh, y'all don't want
I'm
to work.
feeling that.
Now, top guy.
Keep going.
I get a little excited.
Keep going. That's all right.
Because you understand now that this man is saying something different because he hasn't been isolated in the Hebraic culture.
Yeah.
They're talking about separation.
Yeah.
They never, in the Hebraic culture, talked about hell until they were influenced by the Greeks and the Hellenistic period.
That's
Talk
right.
to me.
That's right. That's
It is
right.
a new concept in the New Testament used to program you into a condition of fear, shame, and guilt.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But Eastern philosophy sees life not as a linear line, but as a circle.
Circle. Yeah.
Not from birth to death,
Right.
but as a continuous process of your own evolution.
Teach that.
He's
Teach
not
that.
talking
Teach
in a
that.
Hebraic tongue.
Teach that.
He's talking in a tongue that he's learned in the mystery temples of Kemet.
Yes.
He's talking
That's
in a
right.
tongue that he's learned, yes, in India.
Yes.
Where he has traversed and learned these different concepts that has made him an evolved human being.
That's right.
So he's talking about oneness with God rather than a conversion experience. Y'all with me?
You with you. With you.
Now,
Say it.
oneness with what?
Okay.
I'm glad you asked.
Yes.
When Moses or Musa brought the Torah, or the Pentateuch more specifically, the first 5 books, when he brings this to the Hebrew people, where is he getting this knowledge from?
Man, where are you getting?
Where you?
We can say that he got it from God.
Okay.
if we never saw that it had been written before?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
We can say that he got it from God if the whole thing had been complete. But when you only give me 10 of something, oh, y'all.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm doing this as a review for those that y'all ain't been here. When you only give me 10 of something that is over 100 or at least 42. When you only give me 10 commandments rather than reciting to me all of the law, then you're telling me that you are not the originator of that thought.
That's right.
That you are coming after either because you are not ready to give all of the knowledge to the people. Or the people can't handle all of the knowledge because they don't have the age and the experience